What's up, everyone? Rocco the Comic here by myself, and I'm hanging out with my friends at the Italian Sicilians Do It Better podcast. Make sure you listen, make sure you follow, and non fate stupido.
All right, welcome everyone. We have a great show tonight. All the way from the upstate area, Rocco the Comedian.
Welcome to a show.
How's it going, bud?
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to travel back into the city and experience traffic.
Always lovely. That is always lovely.
As soon as I come back to the city, I'm just looking for parking spots. It's one thing we don't have to do anymore living upstate.
Or parallel park.
Yeah. I mean, I have a chauffeur. My wife drives me
There you
everywhere.
go.
So come on, you don't miss Brooklyn?
The people, but now it's
It's not the same.
no, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You have a house with an actual garage, right?
No, I have a dedicated parking spot.
Oh, okay.
So I have a dedicated parking. That's the thing. I have a spot in front of the house. Never have to worry about it. There's no alternate side parking.
Oh, beautiful.
You know, people. I pay for an HOA, so they shovel. I don't gotta do anything.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, so you have like a HOA that they maintain the property?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Because
Wow.
in Brooklyn, I have no idea. From Brooklyn, I was barely allowed to use the hose growing up. That was illegal for us to use the hose, so I let other people do everything now. So I don't gotta do anything.
Oh, that's
Perfect.
good.
I wouldn't know what to do.
But washing the concrete, something I look forward to every spring.
I do it now only because I was never allowed to use the hose. They never let me use the hose growing up. Like I asked to use the hose, and they made it sound like I was asking to drive the car through a wall or something. 'Cause never allowed to do anything.
You probably spray down everything and they don't want to bother.
No, yeah, now I just everything. I wet the car just for fun. I wet the tires. I'm like, come on, no one's here to stop me. I'm just doing everything.
That's it.
I never did this before. And you just go at it.
Stop me, and now I'm here.
So tell us, how did this journey of yours start and when?
It started a long time ago. I mean, I started strictly as a stand-up comedian in 2010. A few people at my job were like, "Oh, you're always funny. You always know how to tell stories. You should do stand-up comedy." I was like, nah, I can't do that. And then I was like, the people kept on saying it to me, so I started at like Caroline's on Broadway. Used to have this like training class, so I went there and I did that for a few weeks, and then we had a show at Caroline. So I mean, if anyone knows, you ever heard of Gianmarco Soresi?
Yes.
He was in my class
Oh, wow.
at Caroline's.
Wow.
So I did the class and I did the stand-up show as a graduation thing, and then I just kept on doing it. I was part of all these. Caroline's have this March Madness thing, and then so I always tell people, I said, if I showed you who was on this competition, you'd laugh because I'm the only name that people don't recognize. Because there's like guys like Nate Bargatze, Pete Davidson, Chris Stefano, and then me.
Oh, wow.
So you met all those guys?
Oh yeah, I hung out with them in the back. They probably have no idea who I am now because now they're too famous. But you know, they're doing arenas, and I'm talking to myself on social media. So we're all doing well. So I mean, then when I was doing stand up, then me and my wife, I had gotten married in the middle of doing stand up, and then we wanted to have kids, and that wasn't as easy as everyone makes it sound.
Right.
So then we lost the kid, so I just stopped. So we had a miscarriage, and I stopped doing stand-up altogether. I just stopped doing it. It wasn't, so I just wanted to focus on whatever we had to do to go have a kid or
Your
whatever.
priorities shifted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then after my first son was born, a few years later, I went back into stand-up. But at that time, all those people, like, it was only like a year and a half, 2 years. But in that time already, everyone else shot up, and I was trying to catch up. So, I mean, I kept on doing that for a little bit. I was able to do the Beacon Theater
Nice.
with Craig Carton, Humorous. They had a show, and I did the Beacon Theater. I headlined Caroline's as a breakout artist and stuff like that. And then at the same time, I was messing around with memes on social media. I always my wife is a very jealous person, but I've understood that I'm not attractive, so I was never quick to show my face on social media. So I did memes. All I did was memes. For years, I did memes. I was the Italian guy who did memes. So that's when I started Rocco the Comic on Instagram. Then just memes, and then years passed because I couldn't find it comfortable doing any videos in person and like with a camera. I found it weird. I couldn't talk to myself.
Was it a difference doing stand up and being on video that made you feel different?
Because there was no one to work off of. So on stage, you're working off the crowd. So, you have what you want to say. You say it. If something goes wrong, you adapt, you change, you talk to someone. I'm talking to the back of my phone. It's not giving me much, So it was just very weird for me. So then I started doing, after a certain time, like the memes, everyone copies memes. They used to take off your watermark and put their watermark on. And I was getting annoyed at memes. So like I was getting angry because people were stealing my memes. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like I'm an adult and I'm here getting mad at memes.
I might have stole one or two from you. I'm sorry.
Everyone's stolen from me at this point.
You're just a part of the.
It's all right. So I was like, all right, forget it. No more memes. I was like, I got to get over this thing in my head and start recording stuff. And I think the first video I ever did was like a fake Chantrix commercial. I just sat in a room in my old house, in my mother's house, and I just sat in my room and I did a video. And that's slowly, and those were getting more popular because they were me. And then slowly, videos. I started doing more videos. And I used to film all my videos in my old bedroom at my mother's house.
Right.
Because I couldn't film them upstate because the kids were too loud and all that stuff. My mom would actually be quiet. I mean, one funny story, one of the first videos I did was a conversation with the doctor. And I was doing it in my bedroom. And the conversation was that I had diabetes, right? So the whole conversation, if you hear it from the outside of the room, you think I'm talking to my doctor and he told me I had diabetes. So I got out of the room after I'm done filming and my mom was there and she's going, but what did the doctor say? Because she thought, so and then my sister goes, but Ma, he was doing a video. No, I thought he had diabetes, and I was like, if he's gonna tell me, he'll tell me when he wants to tell me. He's like, just diabetes, because that's what it was. My mom would listen, and then my mom would get annoyed at me because when I would make the videos, I would walk around the house and just take props.
Yeah.
Because the one video I made was all the bomboniere. So I walked around the house and stole all the bomboniere. She goes, I hope you put that stuff back after. I said, you're not going to notice, regardless. So then after that, COVID happened. And then I lost my mom during COVID. And then I had nowhere to film. So I was like, I started filming upstate. It wasn't coming out the same. So eventually I had to switch it up. Like I had a light like you guys have, and that broke on me, and I used to use that for my green screen. I was like, this is a message that I got to stop or something. So then eventually this one time I used to do the voiceovers differently. So then I used to do videos of voiceovers, and then I used to pretend to be my grandmother or my mother, and I used to high pitch the voice. And then I got lazy because I am. That's one thing you can say about me is I'm lazy. So sitting down to edit videos is not something I like doing. And that's just when TikTok started, picking up. And I was like, I'm never going to do TikTok. Because you know what? Because TikTok's whole basis was copying people. Mm-hmm. Like TikTok would be one original idea and then 50 people copying the idea.
Right.
And as a stand-up comedian, the one thing you hate the most is people copying you.
Right.
So I didn't want people copying me because then I was already getting annoyed at people copying my memes.
I said, I'm sorry.
You stole my memes now.
Because here's one story I had. And it's funny. I'm just going to say Joe Causey from KTU. Remember him?
Yes.
I had one meme that was my most popular meme ever. It was Nemo and Dory, and he said,
I saw that.
Relax, calm down, relax, something, run hide, the Italians are coming. It was a Christmas Eve meme. It was my most popular meme ever. Mm-hmm. It's still shared to this day, and when I see it, I'm proud of it, but I'm annoyed because I put my real name on it and I stopped putting my real name on stuff. But either way, so one time, Joe Causey's one who stole my meme. He badly photoshopped my thing out.
Oh my god!
So I always remember that, and then so I was like, that's it. I still have a thing about stealing my meme. So then,
did you ever tell him? Did you confront Joe?
I think I messaged him once, but in the end, an adult arguing about memes.
I know.
So it's like. So I was annoyed with that, and then so I started doing TikTok. I was like, all right, everyone's getting popular on this thing. But again, I'm lazy, so I'm not gonna edit and this and that. So I started doing little by little videos. At first, I did little things of like trying to hug a Nutella. I started playing around with it. But what I saw, TikTok was getting more views than anything.
Yes.
So I did one video one time of me talking to my dad. You know, I recorded it, then I did that, and those they picked up. People liked it, so I was like, all right, that's easy for me to do. It literally takes me like 10 minutes to do a whole video, maybe sometimes 5. So I just, that's what
So
happened.
you found your niche. You found that thing where you don't have to bust your ass on doing.
Yeah.
You could do it and quickly, and you're happy with it because people love them.
Oh yeah,
I do. I love them.
Thank you.
Dude,
No,
it reminds me of my father, and it so much so it annoys me.
It's so relatable.
I'm
It's so
sitting
relatable.
there and I'm just like, fuck, man, they're all the same.
And what's funny is because people message me and they tell me, "Hey, can you tell your dad to calm down?" There's like just tell him to take it easy on you. And sometimes I don't want to break this. I'm like, yeah, I'll tell him.
You played along
You
with
don't
it.
break this spirit. All right,
Yeah,
you
some
keep
people-
the motion up. All
I'll
right.
tell him.
How long has your dad been passed?
He died in 2019 and my mom died in 2020. So a year apart, I lost
wow.
both of them. But the thing is, I tell everyone is that the voice is my dad. The paranoia and all that stuff is my mom.
Okay.
Because in reality, my dad was the calmest guy. He was cool. He thought he was one of the kids.
Yeah.
He would hang out. He played cards.
Wow.
Like growing up, we would be playing cards in my house at 2:00 in the morning. My father would come in and goes, "Who wants a pasta?" And he would start cooking pasta. So my dad was not as crazy as I make him sound.
Right.
My mom was. But the way I figured it, everyone was doing moms, Italian moms.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone had the wig on, the dress, and all that stuff. I was like, listen, let
We
me
don't look good in dresses, bro.
No, listen, I gotta go to the big and tall store already. For a 10-second video, I gotta go big and tall dresses.
No,
No,
they have their own shop. They're called the Dress Barn. Don't ask me how I know.
they probably charge you just as much. I wasn't gonna buy no dress and no wig. I mean, I have a wig for a costume, but that's the only time I wore it.
Right.
But no, that was like, let me just do dad voice. It's easy. It takes me 5 minutes, and that's it.
So you meshed both of them together.
Yeah. It's every Italian I've ever experienced in my life into one character.
Yeah.
But I play it through my dad.
Yeah, you play it well. It's so relatable.
It is.
It's like what he said to you upstairs. Like, does he know my father? Like that's how he feels because
Unbelievable.
it's unbelievable on the reactions on those videos you make.
It's just nuts that they're all the same. It's like they all went to school before they came to you. And I was like, listen, this is how we're going to act. All right? Everyone's got to perform and act this way. That's it. We're not allowed to do anything. It's like they all went to school for the same thing.
100%.
That's so funny. Now, Rocco, you're half Sicilian?
Half Sicilian, half Calabrian. My father would be upset. He hated me the Sicilian part.
Why?
My dad was anti-Sicilian.
Oh, jeez.
So we grew up with that anti-Sicilian mentality. He goes, no, you guys are just a Calabrese. That's it.
That's
goes-
so funny.
El Lusango del Calabria.
Yeah, that's it.
So you know to speak Italian?
I speak a clusterfuck of Italian. That's what I tell everyone. Because people are like, oh, when you speak perfect Sicilian. I was like, if you ask a Calabrese, I'm speaking perfect Calabrese. Because I grew up with the Calabrese father, but then my nonno, who my mom's parents were in the basement. So I was surrounded by Sicilian. So surrounded by Calabrese Sicilian. Then my uncle was from Bari. So I had
my
every
God.
dialect in my head.
Jesus.
So when I speak,
It's all of them.
it's everything mixed. So if you're
Italian, Sicilian, and
Yeah.
Chinese, you're all in one shot.
everything. German, So if you're Sicilian, you pick up on my Sicilian. If you're Calabrese, you pick up on my Calabrese.
Yeah.
When I went to Milan a couple years ago, and I didn't realize it, everyone I spoke to was like, wow, you're Sicilian. I was like, I didn't realize my dialect was so strongly Sicilian until I went to the north where everyone pointed it out.
Yeah. Because they're so strict on that proper Italian, they'll dissect it. So
Yeah.
there you go. There's your answer. You
That's
know
what
where
I
you
understood.
right.
Was Sicilian in your videos.
Yeah, it's a
so
mix of it all
relatable.
because
Yeah.
it's I grew up around both. So I just whatever comes out is
They
that.
are kind of similar, though.
It
Italian
is.
and
They're right.
Calabrese,
They're
a
right
little
near
bit.
each other, but don't ever.
Right.
My father would not be
Don't
happy
mix
to have
the
heard
two.
that. No, he goes, no, you Calabrese. That's it. That's all we do. You don't talk because you know why? He goes, no one. The Sicilian, There was one movie I think it was with John Candy. I forgot the name of it. That he dated a Sicilian lady, and then his mom told him Sicilian people eat your stomachs. I don't know what it's something with the movie with John Kim, but my father heard that one line and
Really?
ran with that line.
That's
But
so funny.
my father used to always tease my mom for being Sicilian. That's all.
Is it true the what do you call it, that niche that they say Calabrese su destadura?
Oh yeah, 100%. But they're all. That's the thing is,
all hard-headed.
all the Italians are hard headed. That's why none of us get along with each other. We all hate each other because we're all so set in our ways. God forbid.
Yeah, I know. That's
We
so true.
gatekeep our own culture and all that stuff.
so
No one's allowed to do anything. Who's Italian for this one? You're not enough Italian.
Have you been to Sicily?
Yeah. I mean, last time I went to the south, I've been to Italy twice in the past few years, but I only went to go. I took in January 2020, right before COVID hit. I always wanted to go watch Inter play with my dad, but I never got the chance to go. So I promised that after he passed, I would fulfill. I know that the left side of my face is burning from the Juventus sign and having to stare at Del Piero. So I always wanted to go watch a game at San Siro with my dad, but I never got a chance to because he passed away. So after he died, I promised that I would go and fulfill the journey. So I went. When my dad died, I cut his piece of his hair off and I brought it to Italy with me.
Aw.
And then I hid it. Actually, I put the hair on the field, so a part of him would always be there. And I took one of his mask cards and hid it in the locker room. And that was the year that we won the Scudetto. So I think
There you
it
go.
had something to do with that.
That was really
That's
nice.
That
So
was nice.
in 2020, I went to Milan, and then last January I took my kids because because after losing both your parents, you realize do what you got to do now because you don't guarantee to do it later.
Right.
So I said I didn't want my kids to say they never went to go to San Siro with their dad. So I went in January. I took my family. We went to go to watch Inter, Milan, all that stuff. But I haven't been to the South since 2000, since I was in junior high school.
Where'd you visit?
So I went to Gioia Ionica, that's where my dad's from in Calabria, and I went to Carini, that's where my mom is from in Sicily. But now in August, I'm gonna go for 3 weeks. We're gonna go visit Calabria and Sicily for a few days. Oh, another thing about Carini, which is funny, in high school, my first girlfriend was Carinese, right? Funny story.
He's smirking.
Oh yeah, because it's hilarious to me. Because my father told me, he goes, "Don't make it the same mistake I make." All right. So this girl was Carinese, and then her father found out about me, as if I'm this bad guy, and shipped the girl back to Carini.
Stop.
No way.
Yeah, she got shipped back to Carini as soon as they found out about me.
But just found out that you were the boyfriend, that there was something
That she
specific.
had a boyfriend. What the hell? I was the nicest. I was barely allowed to cross the street. I was the nicest guy.
Jesus Christ.
So she got shipped back to Carini. And what happens is 3 months into Carini, she got pregnant there. So I was like, listen,
Hey, you put it on
you
yourself.
reap what you sow, buddy. And that's my father goes, see, that's what happened when you did a Carinese.
That's so funny.
Always has to throw that shot in.
Of course, that's it. And every time we would remind you, we would look at my mother and go, you see what a Carinese do? You see?
That's why his father goes, we're Calabrese, and that's
Exactly. You don't tell nobody you Carinese because nobody likes the Carinese. That's what my dad would say.
That's hilarious.
Because every time when my mom was part of the Carinese club on 17th Avenue in Brooklyn, and all those people always fought.
it. Ugh.
And my father goes, you see? You Carinese, they don't even like each other. They don't like each other. What do you mean? And no one going to like these people.
Oh, my
All they do is a gossip.
Oh, my God.
So funny.
That's good.
What's coming up next for you?
Well, I got a show in Whitestone on March 24th. 24th, I think so, yeah. So that's basically it. I'm starting to try to book shows and stuff like that, But the thing is, I'm a stand-up comedian at heart, so I only know if a comedy club books me, I'm there because I just know how to show up. It's this whole new thing of having to book your own show, set up your own sound. I don't know how to set up a microphone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying. People want me to come around, and I want to come around, but I'll get there.
You're just going to show up with a flashlight and a megaphone. Hey!
I'm here to talk. And here's the thing: if we're in the bathroom of your house, it's fine. That's the only place I could get right now.
How is the separation? We brought it up earlier. I thought it was a good topic, where people come to your comedy shows and expect you to be the internet guy that they see.
And it's a thing. It's because people like you because of the character they bonded with on social media. So here's the thing: is that that's not, you can't do that for an hour straight on stage. First off, I'm gonna become crazy if I'm talking to myself for an hour on stage. Or I'm gonna do hello, hello, hello. It's not feasible. You can't do it. So my stand up is my life. You know, and my life is not just pretending to talk to my dad. It's, you know, it's being married, it's being fat, it's having kids, it's doing this. So stand up is my life, is everything I talk about. So when some people come and they're like, "Oh, I thought it'd be more Italian stuff, or it'd be more," I'm like, that's not stand up. It's, you know, what I always tell people is like, the goal is stand up. Social media is what gets the asses in the seats. But it's, you know, most people get it. Most people like the idea that it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same thing, because it'll get boring after a while. How long can you hear a guy argue with his dad on stage?
But that's what it is. It's like we see one side of you on social media, which everyone loves. Then when they see you on stage, they love that other part of you too.
Yeah.
You're giving out all these sides of yourself where it's all you.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a benefit.
Well, yeah, because it's more depth. Like, you're more
Exactly.
depth to yourself, you know?
Exactly.
Now, you have done shows in the past, obviously. How come you haven't taken any of those clips and shared that on social media to get feedback?
Because I don't record myself. L'agnuso. Remember?
You remember earlier?
Remember l'agnuso? Because here's the thing, is that people record themselves all the time, and I don't.
Yeah.
Listen, my mother was the most negative person ever.
I'll fight you on that one.
No, she was the most negative person. So anytime I'm about to go on stage, I think I'm gonna have the worst set. I'm gonna bomb. People are gonna boo me off the stage. So I don't record it. So I'm like, if it's this bad, then at least I don't have evidence. You know. So my mind's like, mine's like, don't record it. Don't record it. Don't. And then people are like, let's see a video. I'm like, I don't got anything. I'm sorry. You'll see a picture of like the back of my head from my wife, and that's about it. But that's why I never record the shows. I mean, I got to start doing it. I promised myself that the March show I'm going to record.
Yeah, you should.
But yeah, I'm just lazy.
And that's the support system. It's the negativity that
Yeah.
you get. You're like, this is why I don't do what I do.
Oh, everything was negative. It's like I always start my stand-up show in a similar fashion, because no one believes me when I tell them, because I grew up in Brooklyn and I moved upstate, but I don't drive. I didn't know. Not that I didn't know how to drive. I just never drove.
Yeah.
Because I lived in Brooklyn. You could walk everywhere. And then the second reason is because every time I try to take the car out, my mom thought I was going to crash. You know?
Typical
And then
moms.
if I want to take the car out, my father didn't want me to lose the parking spot.
Right.
So I never took the car out. So then when I moved upstate, I didn't drive. I had to have my wife drive me everywhere.
Which upstate is the perfect place to drive. You're not worried about cars. You can park in the woods. No one's gonna give a damn what you do. You
Yeah,
know.
but now there's deers and stuff running.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm used to like the, you know.
You always find something, bro.
I'm used to a Chinese kid running across in Brooklyn, but upstate they got the deer, you got all these animals.
You know what's funny that you mentioned that? Last week I came down here. My little brother came to drive me here in the morning, and birds came down pretty low, and then he ducks. He did this reaction. I go, what the fuck was that? What the hell? Like, you never seen birds before? He goes, I'm kind of scarred. I'm like, what happened? He was driving upstate and he hit a fucking owl. So ever since that day, that's it. When he sees birds get close to the car, he twitches.
These animals don't care.
He don't give a damn.
They fly everywhere. They want to hit everything. So yeah, so that's
Yeah.
Explain to the audience this, because a lot of people think it's just you need this and you're a comedian. It's it's a story, it's a delivery. There's so much technique into it. Share it to us. Like, what is
so. When I first started stand up, and it was, I thought I wrote everything I was gonna say on stage on paper, and then I did it. And then if one thing went wrong, I was fucked, because I needed to go by my script. Then with experience, you realize no, you just need topics, and then the stories will come naturally. I mean, one thing I don't like to make up anything. So anything I talk about on stage is truth.
Really?
Because I don't like to create a joke out of thin air or something, because it doesn't come across authentic to me.
Right.
But with stand up, it's not. You have to be able to tell the story, keep the audience
Engaged.
you know, and then you have to win them over.
Yeah.
One of the ladies who like one of the people I learned comedy from, like about the business and stuff, said the audience can always tell when you're full of shit. So you don't want to get on there and just and bullshit because people are going to catch it. And it's about adapting. You know, it's like at the Beacon Theater, I got heckled because the kid before me got booed off stage. So it's an audience of like 2,000 people, and they expected me to be like the kid before me. So the whole time I'm dealing with hecklers instead of doing my own set. So you have to be prepared to throw everything out of the garbage. Whatever you thought you were going to say
could change in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Jesus.
What has been your worst experience doing stand up?
It could have been the Beacon Theater one because that was like a big deal. And then they put the kid in front of me who got booed off because the kid who went before me saw Ralph Macchio in the audience and then couldn't get over the fact that Ralph Macchio was there.
Stop.
And just kept on talking about Karate Kid. And then he got booed off the stage. Because at that time, Artie Lang was on the show too, so it was all the Howard Stern crowd, and they're very crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So then he got booed off, and instead of bringing on like another celebrity, they brought another comedian who no one knows, me. So everyone thought that I could get. So it was like a really big opportunity for me. And then
That was ruined by that.
it was
kid.
ruined because I couldn't do anything I wanted to do.
But they didn't boo you though, right?
No, I didn't get booed off stage. I
Okay.
still got off, but it just I couldn't do anything I wanted to.
Your energy was somewhere else. It
No,
was-
because during my stage, they started kicking out the hecklers and stuff like that. So it's not like I could say, all right, let's just chill out and I'll come back in 5 minutes. No, I had to just talk, and then everyone's attention was everywhere else. And I couldn't really get them back because I was not the celebrity. And then after me, they had Michael Shea from SNL, that Sherrod Small, all the celebrities who could garner attention, me. Yeah. And then it's basically always like that. It's always the audience.
They dictate the show.
Yeah.
What was your feeling? And I'm sorry about these questions because I it's interesting. The first time you went in front of people, what was the feeling inside you?
I wanted to go home. That was that before any stand-up show. I regret doing the show. I want to go home.
on the list.
Why the hell do I do this to myself? This is not fun. I get in a bad mood. It's like no one could talk to me.
Not anymore, right?
No, now still up at the I hate it. I just can't stand it. And then when I'm on the stage and the first laugh happens, and I'm there.
Right. Get comfortable, right?
But it's just.
So it's a feeling that never goes away.
Yeah, it's like a high. Yeah, but it's that negativity. It's my mother's negativity that just starts everything off. Like, this is going to be horrible. They're going to. So what I started saying to myself, like, you're not going to get fired. Like, you're still going to be able to go to work tomorrow.
Right.
When after the show, unless I say something wrong and then I get canceled. But, but still.
It's been a good run.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you later.
Have you ever had your family members watch you live?
So my mother came to one of my shows ever. I don't even remember what she thought. It was one. Here's the thing: is like, and it was when I was first starting out. So when you first start, you go to these bringer shows where you have to bring people in the audience to even get on stage, and these shows go on for hours because they bring like 15 comedians, and they all bring people in there have comedians. So my mom went to that, and she was just miserable.
No,
Jesus Christ.
and like my father, because my father was he had a big ego. He had a big ego. He would tell people, I'm not go because he's going to get too nervous if I'm there. I'm like, what do you have to do? He goes, you're going to get too nervous. That's it. So I'm not going to go. Then I stay home. So my parents, my mom only saw me perform once live. My dad never saw me. My wife always comes. My sister will always come. But, just depends. People want me to talk about them. That's the other thing. They get happy when you talk about them on stage
Because they want that relation.
Yeah.
Like how everything, like, because my mother, funchata, everywhere she goes, my father looks at her, he goes, why are you so miserable? Everywhere you go. Sempre tu funcha. And he grabs it and he goes, stop it. And it's the same thing, bro. I'm telling you, it's crazy how in sync they are.
Yeah.
It's just nuts.
Just a negative thing.
Oh my God.
I always say you can always tell who an Italian is because they had, they say resting bitch face.
Yes.
Italians have resting depression face. So that's why you can always tell who the Italians are because we look depressed. We're always on the verge of crying. Like I always used to tease people, like if you made my mom talk long enough, eventually she's gonna start crying. No matter what the topic is. You could be talking about ice cream, eventually a tear is gonna come down because she's gonna go somewhere negative with that thing.
Growing up with Italian parents, an Italian home, did they understand what you wanted to do, or it was like a joke to them?
The thing is, I never asked for permission for anything, so it came to a certain point where I just did whatever I wanted to do. My mom hated that. She goes, "Why you gotta tell everybody our business?"
Yes.
That's what she hated. She hated the videos and stuff like that because she goes, "Why you gotta tell everybody everything? We have no secrets." And then if my mom fucked up something in front of me, she goes, "Oh, that's it. That's gonna go on the video now." She used to always be certain. Like if my aunt calls me and then asks a stupid question, she goes, "And don't make this into a video now."
Oh shit.
So that's it. But I mean, my dad loved Jerry Seinfeld. So my dad's
Who's that, Maria?
my dad loved him. So anytime I came home from a show, he'd go, "Hey, Seinfeld, you performing with Seinfeld tonight?" I'm like, "Dad, the guy does not just coming to perform with me." So that was it. I mean, they understood it, but my mom just didn't want me telling anyone our business.
That's hilarious.
That was my next question that you answered, is because even sometimes what we do, it's like, I can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's an act.
Yeah. I mean, but no, my mom hated anything that I said. Because she'd be like, "Why you gotta tell him that?" And then if I made fun of myself for being fat, "Why you gotta say that? Why you gotta talk about yourself like that?" I'm like, "But Ma, I'm fat." But still at all. You don't gotta say that stuff. You know, they used to get so mad at me. But I'm like, "Yeah, people like it." No, but say something nice. I'm like, "Nice is not funny."
Are you an only child?
No, I have an older sister.
Okay.
Yeah. She got the brains and I just got the funny bone. And that's it.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing to do growing up? A hobby?
Eating.
Eating.
So I didn't do anything else. I mean, I liked soccer. My dad brought me to try out for a team once, and then they made us make a lap, and I got to like the second turn, and I pretended to have a heart attack, and then I
Same
left.
story with asthma. I was like, "Oh my god, I can't breathe."
But I told everyone I had a heart attack. That like word spread that I saw a kid that one time. And he goes, "Rocco, you had a heart attack?" And I'm like,
Can
Yeah.
you believe it?
at 8 years old, I had a heart attack in the middle of the soccer field. I couldn't perform. I had to leave. So I didn't play soccer. So that's all I did. I played video games and I ate, and then I got yelled at for going outside.
Did you ever get yelled at for eating too much?
That's the
And
thing.
yet they kept feeding you too much?
It is I have a video and it's the funniest video I ever have of me, and I might have been maybe 6, 7 years old, wearing the tightest fucking Ninja Turtle shirt ever. It definitely wasn't my size, and I'm sitting there and I have a stupid hat on, and I'm singing the Ninja Turtle theme song, right? While my dad's barbecuing behind me. So I just can't stop looking at my stomach in this video, and then so I walk over to the window where my mom's throwing out the food to give to my dad, and she gives a piece of chicken. So I got, "Oh, daddy, food, the chicken." And I looked at my mom and goes, "Where's hamburger? I want hamburger." And then my mom looks at me and she goes, "Pretty soon you're going to blow up." So I have that video, and I'm 6 years old, and then my mom's like, "You're going to blow up." So I'm like, "But you guys fed me." Like, at no point did you guys realize, let's relax with this kid? Like, maybe feed his sister more. Yeah. Stop feeding him.
That's hilarious.
Well, let me ask you. So since you were always home, you know, like you said, you would eat, play video games and stuff. Did you get yelled at for why you always in front of the TV? Why you always doing this? Why you always in the house? Or was it like you didn't get shit for that? Because I feel like my parents always said, "Oh, you go out too much. You're doing that too much." And then I'm home. "Oh, you're home too much. You're in the front of the TV too much." Did you get any of that? Or
Got yelled at for no matter what we did.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
Could have solved world hunger and got, "Why you got to give everybody else the food? We need it here too." You know, no matter what we
pleasing.
did,
No pleasing.
just you go outside. Oh, stay in front of the house. You go to the corner. Don't leave at the block. Over here. Don't cross the street. This and that. Listen, I got hit by a car when I was a kid.
Oh,
right?
boy.
Oh, really?
And I was afraid to tell my parents I got hit by a car. I told the guy to leave. So the guy hit me with the car. I got up. I'm fine. No, leave. You gotta get out of here. You got it. Because if my parents find out, I said, "Get out of here." So then I went home and I just slide down in bed, and my mom's like, "What happened?" I was like, No, nothing. I'm fine. And just my leg hurts a little bit. Leg hurts. So then I had to. My sister told me, she goes, no, Rocco got hit by a car.
Oh my god.
And then I had to go to the emergency room. My father fought with every doctor there. And I was like, this is why I don't tell him about anything. So
The car should have just killed me.
why couldn't it just take me? It would have been easier to explain. Rocco's dead. No explanation. That's it. I had to hide. I was like, that's how my childhood was. I couldn't even tell my parents I got hit by a car.
Jesus Christ.
So I want to
my
go back on when you were explaining that your mom was giving out food. So since your mom was Sicilian, what food were you brought up with, like in the household?
My mom didn't really cook. My dad was the chef in the house.
Really?
So,
nice.
he cooked. My dad, because my dad was one of 6 kids. And he was there was only one girl and he was the baby. So his older sister taught him how to cook. Because my father used to always say, Nonna wanted a girl and she had the me.
Right.
So he knew how to cook and he cooked amazing. So I grew up with melanzane, which is calabrese. And then my nonna was Sicilian, but she cooked the pasta forno, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The stuff like that. But my dad was the main cook in the house.
Yeah.
So
Did your mom ever like tell him, "Oh, fai pasta forno," and then he'll be like, "I don't want to do."
no, he would go ask your mother downstairs. So that's what he would say. Because I cook what I gotta cook. Because if they wanted it downstairs, and so my nonna would make that stuff and the stuff like that. But the thing was, I didn't eat the crazy stuff. Like I would sit there sometimes, and my nonna would have an entire goat's head.
Yeah.
Eating it.
Wow.
And I'd be sitting there, I'm just staring at this goat while I'm eating pasta. He's eating a whole
Sucking
goat's
on the
head.
eyeballs and
Yeah, and all that, or like a fish. Like my nonna was a butcher, so like one memory I had is that they had the lamb, and I had the story where my sister was younger. They had the goat for Easter, but it was alive. They took pictures of my sister riding the goat, all that stuff, and then they killed the goat.
Oh no.
So later on, years after, my nonna was butchering up a goat, and he goes, "Oh, look!" He takes the lungs of the goat and starts inflating it. He's blowing into this thing, and I'm like, "What the?" It's like, why would you want to do this? Then he cuts the tail of the goat and puts it as a goatee. And I'm like, then they wonder why Italian kids got to go through therapy. It's like, I just walked in the house. Not a hello, not a what do you need? It's just look at the lungs. And then, so that's why I'm a little nuts.
Oh man.
So in your household, was it sauce or was it gravy?
No, it's sauce. Gravy is the thing in the jar.
Thank God.
No, get out of here.
So we have this argument all the time, bro.
I just don't know where it comes from. People are like, no, my grandmother was from Italy and she serves
Right.
gravy. I was like, yeah? What year she came here? I don't know.
I don't even know, right?
They don't know.
No, and they keep saying the same thing. I get that all. Well, my grandmother from Italy said it. I'm like, then she's been wrong over there too. I don't know what the fuck you want me to tell you.
How do they pronounce it though?
No, they say, no, suco is thing. I'm like, you guys made that up. I was like, the Webster didn't say that. Webster's dictionary. Stupid. People are nuts. It's sauce. Can never be gravy.
I know. Did your dad ever make? Because I know Calabrese are known for sausages.
Oh yeah, sopprezzata.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
love that.
I have some in my trunk right now because I'm supposed to bring some to some people. So I have.
That's
Yeah,
so funny.
because my dad made it every year. My dad's Facebook was a dedication to sopprezzata because every he had albums on his Facebook. Sopprezzata 2020, 2016, Sopprezzata 2017. And it's always a picture of him with a sopprezzata in the house. My father had this picture on his Facebook consisted of him holding sopprezzata.
Jesus.
So we made it every single year, and then when he passed away the year after, I made it with my mom, and then I didn't know how to make it. I mean, I know how to make it if you get me the stuff, but I had nowhere to. Here's the thing: I know how to make it. I had nowhere to hang it. That's the biggest problem. Like I don't have a garage. My basement's not good enough to do the smoke.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm making it actually in a few weeks with my sister. So
Nice.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna
nice.
replenish my supply.
Oh, definitely.
That's the problem. Sopprezzata, you make it for yourself in reality, but you end up just giving it to everyone else.
I know.
Everyone comes to you, it's like, oh, you got more sopprezzata, and that's what everyone wants you.
the best.
One of my good friends at Calabrian, and every time I go over, I'm like, "Where's the super salad?"
Yeah, it's
They make it so good.
a currency for us. We want you to like us. That's it. We're gonna bring a sopprezzata. That's how we get into the
Instead
door.
of a bomboniera,
Yeah.
just bring the soppressata.
I remember for my wedding, we gave out bottles of wine instead of bomboniere, and it was such a no. What are you gonna give something? I was like, I'm not giving people something to put in the china closet. That's it. I'm not doing a bottle opener. I'm not doing this stuff.
Right.
Just give them a bottle of wine, and then they throw it out.
But that wasn't good enough.
No, it was an argument. I had to convince people. You know, sit down, have a town square, town hall about justifying the bomboniere.
With your wedding, with your own wedding.
Of course,
Because
that I paid
it's not
for.
your wedding.
Yeah.
It's everybody else's wedding.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you
Love
can't
it.
sit there and then
Love it.
it's a headache. This is why I do comedy. It's cheaper than therapy.
It is.
Just talking all this stuff.
So your material, you said when you do stand up, it's about anything, but related to you or anything that's related to today's day.
Anything through my eyes. So it can be something that's going on, but it's through my opinions, my upbringing, and what I see it as. You know, I don't like to talk politics only because immediately it separates the audience.
Yes.
You know, everyone has an opinion on that. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna lose half an audience already by just saying one word, it's not worth it. You know, so I try to talk about me. Like my entire stand-up's me. Like it's me talking about me. You're laughing with me and all that stuff. So I control it. I'm not gonna make anyone upset. But you know, it's what I like.
You'll upset them somehow.
Oh, I'll
You'll upset 'em.
I'll offend somebody.
Oh, yeah.
But the way I look at this too is because growing up as the fat kid, you got bullied, right? And then I always said when I'm doing stand-up, I said, listen, if I do a better job making fun of myself than you can, then I'm not gonna do anything.
Tell me something I don't know.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, Rocco, we want to thank you for giving us this time with you. Let everybody know where they could find you, your next show again.
Well, you can find me Rocco the Comic everywhere there's social media. You can find me locally at the buffet. And just I have a show coming up in March, but keep in touch on social media and I'll let everyone know where I'm anywhere.
Sounds great.
Thanks
Thank you.
again.
Coming.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.